Explain the penalty.
Well, so Collin Morikawa's caddy. Words is going really well. Words are hard today. I was trying to read something earlier.
I mean, more caddy, they're a team. It makes sense. I like what you're doing.
I was just saving a few syllables.
Welcome back to episode 32 of the Loggerhead Golf Podcast. We are all back. I've almost got my voice back, so I don't sound like Batman anymore.
Say it.
No, I still sound like him.
Say it.
Where's Rachel?
Yes.
So, pretty exciting weekend. Tiger's first competitive round at Hero since the withdrawal from the Masters and the surgery. So, it was great to see him play and actually be able to walk for 4 days and actually hit fairways and some bomb drives.
Yeah, I mean, he looked a lot better on Sunday than he did on Friday. Yep. So, that's the biggest thing is I never questioned his ability to hit a golf ball. It's can he physically hold up, right? Mm-hmm. And, Sunday just looked like he was actually walking really well. And obviously to shoot even par for 4 rounds, making 19 birdies over the tournament, I mean, all he's going to need is reps to eliminate the bogeys and doubles. But to make 19 birdies in a tournament setting for 4 days, pretty damn good.
Yeah, I agree. New driver in the bag.
Yeah.
TaylorMade QI10, I believe.
Yep.
That's what we actually got a chance to look at it the other day. So pretty excited about it. Can't wait to start fitting for it. First week of January.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely surprising to see him put it in the bag. I mean, I don't know how long.
In the bag pretty much right away, right?
Yeah. I mean, right away. You don't know how long he's had it. I mean, I'm sure Tiger, they knew he wasn't going to post anything. He never posts anything. So they probably gave him this driver a year ago. But it was cool to see him. Did anybody else have it in the bag?
Scotty Scheffler during round 1, and then he won with the fairway wood in the bag. So he pulled the driver out after day 1. But kept the fairway wood in.
Yeah, I mean, see anything else out there in the tournament?
A lot of Blueprint S's from Ping, new iron, and they've already got 4 wins now with that new iron, with Joaquin Niemann winning.
Yeah, I mean, I think just from a pure results, this weekend was a great weekend for golf because you had obviously Tiger back, Scotty Scheffler, #1 player in the world, win. And then you have, on the flip side, the Australian Open. You have Joaquin Niemann win. And then the other DP World Tour event, you had the same guy back-to-back weeks.
Dean Burmester again.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was and I think both Joaquin and Dean had the Blueprint S's in the back.
Yep.
So.
Not only that, they both play on what tour?
Live.
What's different about the Blueprint S?
So it's kind of like a CB, which is something Ping's never really explored in because, one thing that's nice about Ping and Titleist kind of does the same thing is they're not coming out with something new every year. So, like, the Blueprint S is kind of the replacement for the S55, which is 10 years old.
Because that's what it's kind of meant to replace.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not surprising to see Matt Fitzpatrick switch over to it.
Yeah.
Because he's played the S55s since he won the US Am.
Yep.
Which little bit of headline news on Matty Fitz.
A little bit of controversy with Matty Fitzpatrick and
Collin Morikawa.
Right?
Yeah, Collin Morikawa is the new Patrick Reed. Yeah. Little cheater.
The thing is,
cheaters never win.
I wonder how many other guys.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Oh, that's right. If you ain't cheating, you ain't right.
I'm just saying the dumb Hurricanes chant.
But
it's like there's a lot of times cheaters win.
I wonder how many other guys on tour, or their caddies, have those kinds of notes in their yardage book.
Explain the penalty.
Well, so Collin Morikawa's caddy. Words is going really well. Words are hard today. I was trying to read something earlier.
More caddy, they're a team. It makes sense. I like what you're doing.
I was just saving a few syllables. Anyway, on the putting green, he used a level, right?
Yeah.
He used a level to measure the percent of slope on the putting green, and then to equate that into, at that percent of slope, the putt would break this amount.
Yeah.
And he wrote those notes down specifically in his yardage book. And so then during the round, Morikawa asked his caddy about the break of a certain putt, and he referenced that percentage of slope that he saw
from his book
on the putting green and that amount of break. and just so happened that Fitzpatrick overheard him. Now, I mean, my question is, if Fitzpatrick doesn't overhear that conversation, where do we stand with that? Yes, Collin Morikawa broke the rule, but no one would have known it.
But it goes into what is the number one thing about our game?
Integrity.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to police yourself.
So how long has he been doing that? That's what I want to ask Collin Morikawa.
Right. And my question
Because
also
this has been a rule since
how many
2019.
other people do it?
This has been a rule since 2019.
Because there's other caddies on the putting green that are measuring slope, or hell, during a practice round, are out there measuring
That's what I was
slope.
going to say. It's like, can you not measure slope during a practice round?
No,
Not
you can.
not with a
You
device
can't.
designed to do it. You can do
You
it.
can. You just can't write that stuff down
You can
and
measure all
reference
you
it during
want.
the tournament.
You just can't write it down.
You
and
can keep it in your
specifically
memory
reference
bank.
that.
I don't remember that.
Or you can use anything, like you can use your feet to measure slope. So you can say, okay, this
Aim point,
feels
yeah.
like
It's
1%,
literally what aim
this is
point is.
2%.
Yeah.
And you can write that down. And if you use your own methods to create an equation for how much that's going to make the putt break, you can do that. But you can't use a
measured device
to measure the slope. So that's
and
where
then
they get in trouble.
then write it down and reference it. You can. You just you have to put it in your memory bank. Like you just. I mean, the number one rule about it is, and this is part of the reason why they went away from Green's books, right? They wanted to bring the artistry back into putting. And
they're trying to
they've
protect
made
the art
it
of green,
very strict. I mean, even the tournaments and qualifiers I played in, there's a full section every single week that talks about what exactly you can write in your yardage book.
Well,
So it's a blatant rules violation that Collin Morikawa, that we joke about as like one of the best players in the world, did.
Well, and also too, the tournament committees for these events provide the golfers with a yardage book, a tournament yardage book.
I mean, the players have to pay for it. That's a iffy subject.
Well, it's made available to them, I should say.
But it's one of those things that I just can't. Yes, we talk about golf does have a lot of dumb rules, but this just comes into the integrity. It's not as blatant as a rules infraction as Patrick Reed using a shovel.
Well, using his golf club as a shovel.
Yeah, it's a shovel at that point.
He turned it into one.
Yeah. But old Fitzpatrick, and that's what I hate. I hate seeing people go after Fitzpatrick, calling him a narc and things like that. It's like
I mean, it's nothing against him. I mean, he's protecting the field.
Here's my thing, and I get it. It's Tiger's buddies. It's an invitational. It's 18 players. They're playing for a lot of world ranking points. For example, Tiger finished 16th and somehow moved up 430 spots in the world ranking. Tiger's 16th place finish almost got more points than Joaquin Niemann winning the Australian Open.
Wow.
Tell me the world ranking points aren't messed up.
Yeah. I mean,
Just a little bit.
I mean,
Kind of like the college football ranking system.
No, don't even get
best 4 teams in.
Yeah. Sure. I'd probably so.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
FSU.
We'll find out.
Poor FSU.
Shouldn't have been playing your starting quarterback against North Florida. Play dumb games, win dumb prizes.
Well, it'll be another TCU year where they get blown out by 57
That's
points.
if Florida State got in, it'd be like TCU. Georgia beats them 67-3. Actually, if Georgia won, Florida State was in. Alabama and Texas would have been left out. But we could talk about football all day.
Well, since we're talking about Tiger, now hear me out on this.
All right.
Tiger is, I think Nike as a golf company is either on their way out or they're shrinking their footprint so much that they're just not involved in golf anymore. Because Tiger's contract is officially up at PNC, and there's been no negotiation and no re-signing, right? So then he's got these prototype shoes on the first day of the tournament and all 3 practice rounds, and then switches back to the FootJoys in round 2, 3, and 4. The other part is thinking about Nike the last year. What have they mainly focused on in the footwear? Hasn't even been the Nike brand. It's been the Jordan Low.
Yeah.
So they're going after trendy, not necessarily performance. And now with what came out last night, which we've kind of had a little bit of inside information on, with Srixon basically being the distributor for Nike apparel now, because Nike fired all their reps.
Well, we know for sure Nike footwear.
Yeah.
Well, Nike has fired their reps several times in
Yeah.
the past.
Well, they
Yes.
cleared their whole company out, right?
Yeah.
So what's that mean for Tiger and apparel?
Does he switch to Jordan?
No.
Well, no,
Nah.
he's done with Nike.
I'll
Nike.
hear you now. Hear me out, and I'll give you a new one. Nike's going to start his own golf apparel brand, the TGL. golf brand.
Tomorrow Golf League. You're thinking, you mean Tiger starts his own. You said Nike.
I said Tiger. Well, I meant Tiger.
Well, I say Nike.
You got Nike. Words are hard.
Yeah.
Tiger starts his own golf apparel.
And that's
the
my
TGL
thoughts.
brand.
Is he at a point in his career, since it's not necessarily focused on playing, to where he wants to make a deep dive into a super saturated market?
Well, the way I look at it is Nike is very great at losing just their high-profile athletes towards the end of the career. Nike got rid of Roger Federer left Nike. That's probably the largest person to ever leave Nike, and then now he's with Uniqlo and OnCloud, and he owns OnCloud. So now I think Tiger essentially finally got out of his 10-year contract. Tiger's still going to play in majors. I think he's going to compete. Tiger's going to release his own golf brand.
I was going to say, I think he's had a lot of time away.
Or he just buys one.
I was going to say, he's had a lot of time away from the golf course, right? So he's had time to look into some other things. Now, it wouldn't surprise
Charlie
me.
needs a sponsor.
Right?
So if you
It
could
wouldn't
pick,
surprise me if something like a new brand comes out. It may be a pseudo new brand. It may be a division of Nike, or it may be something else. It might be the Tiger brand, kind of like the way Jordan is for Nike.
Yeah,
You know?
I think, well, it's not going to be within the company. But the perfect example I put it at is you guys go to the golf course on the weekend. Do you see anybody wearing a Nike polo?
Not often.
Not very often.
Not very often, no. So if you do see Nike, it's going to be footwear, which the footwear that people are wearing now is Jordans. But Nike has how many high-profile athletes wearing their brand? Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and Tiger Woods. Obviously, you have Tony Finau. You have a bunch of guys wearing it. Wyndham Clark. Well, actually, Wyndham Clark's not wearing it anymore. Yeah. But really, the only guys that are wearing the Nike apparel, those guys could easily get other brands. So, I can kind of see how you think that Nike golf as a whole is on its way out. I just think it's 100% Tigers on the way out of Nike golf.
Yeah, I don't think Nike will ever entirely get out of golf.
They'll be in their
There's just
footwear.
too many golfers now. You know,
Just tailor-made start because all these
well, they
guys are all
shut down their
tailor-made.
equipment, the highest year of profit and the highest year of Nike clubs in play too, because
Yeah.
the lady from Jordan took over
But-
and X-filled everything.
I would also argue like the R&D for equipment is a lot more, and your return on investment is probably a lot less in equipment than what it is with selling shirts. You know, selling shoes.
So if we thought one brand, just as a quick note, what brand would Tiger wear if he does not create his own? What brand do you think he'd wear?
TaylorMade. I think TaylorMade's going to start their own apparel. It makes them every single one of Nike's high-profile players have max lifetime contracts with TaylorMade. Why wouldn't TaylorMade just come in and be like, "Hey, let's do our own apparel"?
Partnerships with Peter.
And they got probably the highest ranking guy, Michael Block.
I was going to say Ashworth, but there for a while, Ashworth has been off and on by or partnered with TaylorMade too.
But Ashworth left and started Linksole.
They're still there.
The
They're
guy
still
that
an
started
Ashworth
Ash-
brand though.
No, he's back. He's back making clothes again.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
So he left Linksole? Or I guess he owns the apparel world is a lot like how it is in the skate world. People own it. Every brand has a piece of the other brand. Mm-hmm. But I think it's TaylorMade. You're a TaylorMade guy. What do you think when I say that?
We have partnerships with Peter Millar
G4,
already,
Grayson.
Grayson. So I haven't heard anything yet, and I'm usually pretty good about hearing things. I haven't heard anything about us creating our own brand, but it could happen.
I think there'll be a Tiger brand.
I think so.
Kind of look at the mold it's been created for.
I just
right?
hope it doesn't. I mean,
Jack Nicklaus.
No offense to Jack, because I have a Jack sweater signed by him and love it, but I just feel like every time one of the great players ends up with a brand like the Jack Nicklaus golf clubs,
it turns into an old man's brand.
I was going to say, let's look at the Greg Norman stuff.
I was going to say, you look at Jack Nicklaus.
Now Greg Norman sold in every
Bobby
Costco
Jones.
and
Hogan.
Of course, Bobby Jones didn't really create the brand.
He was dead before it came out. But
I just hope it's something that
the reason why I
withstand the test of time.
The reason why I think it's TaylorMade. TaylorMade put up job postings within the last month of like a creative director, a e-commerce, there was 6 or 7 postings that are like, wow, that's a lot of like on the soft goods side of the footprint of a business. So I'm sure they're doing something for those guys.
Gearing up for something.
Yep.
Well, that down, hear me out, kind of spiraled out of control.
That's why it's good.
We were heard. So So speaking of spiraling out of control, we're going to hit on it real quick. And matter of fact, we can probably link the original episode where we hit on it for about half an hour, the golf ball rollback. Obviously, we want to make, educated talks about this. So when the official announcement comes out, we'll have more accurate information. But what are you guys, the reaction that it is going through?
I'm just going to go ahead and say it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm very.
What are we referencing? Is
the golf ball will be rolled back.
Okay.
It's happening. There's a lot of reports of already companies having the testing done. Titleist had a testing done, and with the current rollback that's going to happen is any golf ball Titleist is made after 1995 will be non-conforming. So we'll use that as a little bit of food for thought. Now, I'm going to kind of leave it there. It's a hot and bothered topic for me. So when more information comes out, that's when I'll be inclined to comment.
I say my 2 cents on it are, I think it may be the stupidest decision in the history of sports, maybe.
I agree.
If we think about what they're doing, and I'm just real quick, how many professional golfers are there on like the 3 top tours? So the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, and I would
less
say
than 1% of golf as a whole.
I'm fixing to get to that.
Oh.
I would say probably around 500 or 600 or so, right? Because there's about 150 or so on the PGA Tour, or probably around 150 on
realistically, the top 500 have a chance.
and maybe 100 on the live, right? So about 500 golfers are what we're making this rule for. How many golfers are there worldwide?
Millions.
I said a quick
Tens
Google
of
search
millions.
told
Tens of
me
millions?
60 million.
Oh, shit.
So 60 million worldwide golfers are going to be affected by a rule created for 500 golfers. Realistically, of those 500 golfers, we're only really talking about 15, maybe 20 guys that are really pushing the limits on distance and are creating this rule. Mm-hmm. So for those 500 golfers creating a rule for all 60 million of us, that equates to the rule being created for 0.00083% of the golfing community. Now, does that make any sense?
No,
none.
But it's also the USGA. They're the dumbest organization in the entire world.
Clearly.
Well, think about it from this aspect, too, is golf's the highest it's ever been in history.
Yeah, so let's do something to bury it in the ground again and affect every single PGA professional or golf industry.
Hopefully, if I'm a manufacturer, I'm suing the USGA.
I say, how out
They're
of touch?
telling them how they should spend their money now.
How out of touch? And I want to know how much USGA is paying Rory, because for him to say that the average golfer won't notice 15 yards.
Okay, also, I mean, we get guys that come in the Bay that say they know a difference between 5.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
I'm going to touch on, because Nikki, we touched on this the other day. There is a skill to being able to hit the golf ball far.
Yeah,
1,000%.
Yeah.
Okay. We teach it here. And you do have a distinct advantage if you can hit it. And it doesn't matter if you roll the golf ball back. The guys that hit it far are still going to hit it far.
And if
It won't
anything,
change anything.
It won't change
if anything, distance is going to be more important now.
Yeah.
Right?
And my least favorite word in all of life and politics, because we just heard it throughout my, like, essentially from the time I'm 16 to now, sustainability. Rory throws the word out, sustainability. What does that even mean to golf? Mm-hmm. What is becoming more sustainable with the ball being rolled back? That makes no sense. You might as well just go to the climate summit where all those la people talk about how the world.
The
is
only way
ending.
it's going to be more sustainable is if we lose less golf balls.
I don't like. That's the thing. I don't know. Are these rollback balls going to be biodegradable?
Because our golf courses are already built. They're not gonna make them shorter now. And even if they do, the land's still taken for the golf course, right? And if you look at sustainability from the other side of that as being, what does it mean for the climate of the game? Well, it's just going to be less sustainable.
Yeah, so I guess
more and more golfers are going to leave the game.
Because, like Kyle said, we'll put this short. I think, obviously, you can see where we're at on it. I think you'll be able to, when the stuff comes out, we'll obviously just read the facts and say what is happening. What does that mean for our students, for our consumers, for our listeners, to the everyday golfers? Because, trust me, it affects us as much as you guys.
I think it's the first time in 17 years I've ever agreed with Brandel Chambly.
First time ever. Yeah.
There's a first time for everything.
Here's my thing is the USGA threw out the word universal. That means for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, Rory McIlroy said it best. God, listeners, we've been telling you this for 35 podcasts now.
32.
You guys do not, well, 33. You guys do not play the same equipment as the pros. Not anybody. The only equipment that I truly think you might play the same as the pros is the lab putter and some Vokey wedges. Everything else you do not play. And Rory came out and essentially said,
he admitted it.
Even though he's advertised for TaylorMade, you could play the same TP5 ball. He does not play the same golf ball as you.
It's always a prototype.
So make a ball only for professionals. Make the PGA Tour only play one golf ball. If you want a rollback ball, cool. All you pros play one golf ball. Don't ruin it for the rest of the golf market.
I would have to say I agree with Adam Scott more than anything. I think where we start to look at what's changing the game more than anything, I think we got to look at some of the equipment too.
100%.
Look at the driver first before we start talking about the golf ball.
For sure. Yeah. I'm a big fan of making driver heads smaller again.
Yeah.
Maximum 440 cc's.
I'd go smaller than that.
I know, but 440 is a lot smaller than 460, which is what every driver's at right now.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. So, but it's just dumb.
Yeah, it is.
Leave it at that.
I think in the last comment, in the history of the game of golf, I think this will be the first time ever, because essentially what this rule is saying is that golfers are too good and hit the ball too far. So the game is now too easy. So it's the first time I think we've ever made a rules change. Saying
hey, USGA, why don't you not have a U.S. Open in L.A. just to appease to your sponsors and actually go use it at Pinehurst every year this year? Because I have a feeling where people blitzed LA Country Club last year, Pinehurst is going to be different, so you won't have to worry about the golf ball.
Think about it this, piggybacking off your statement. If you go on the USGA's website and look at average handicap, do you know what the average golfer shoots if they keep a legitimate score, meaning they
Isn't
actually
like 105?
106.
I was going to say, I mean,
what a guess.
Over the last 30 years or 40 years, the average handicap has not gone down. The average score has not gone down.
And
the
driving distance has not gone
increased. So, like, there is no metric.
The PGA Tour since 2000 hasn't increased in average driving distance. Fairway accuracy has.
Yeah, there's no metric.
Do you know who provides us these metrics that we can quickly reference?
I'm going to guess USGA.
The USGA.
Yes. I don't know.
It's, I mean, what does the average male guy drive it?
According to Arcos, because I looked it up, I was curious, about 225. And that's across all ages and all handicaps. And now it doesn't take you long before you get below 200.
Yeah.
Around 65, average driving distance is below 200 yards. At that point, if we take 10% off of that, 5% off of that, most par fours you're not reaching into. They just became par fives for you.
Yeah.
With this golf ball rollback.
Yeah. But the good news for our listeners.
And Rory says you won't notice that difference.
The good news for our listeners, there's great equipment coming out this January. We have new TaylorMade driver that even if the ball goes shorter, the drive will go straighter. Come get fit for QI 10. But I mean, that's kind of where we're at. Though.
You liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
all right, we're gonna do some show and tell.
Oh, yeah. I just want to show you this tweet from
sorry, I'm the problem.
Sorry, I'm part of the problem.
Yeah, he had 9 drives over 191 ball speed. It was
That's
wild.
crazy.
But it's his equipment.
Yeah.
This is golf ball specifically.
It's his equipment. Yeah. So, you know who I'm referring that to?
Cowray.
No. Yeah, Team Callaway. That was a paradigm driver, baby.
Wow.
So tell them. So Kyle, you weren't here last week, so we didn't talk about it. But I know the week before you did a little trip out to Arizona.
Yeah, I went out to Phoenix to visit Ping headquarters.
Yeah.
I was out there, got to play Papagos, meet the Cart Barn guys, Kyle Mays, which was awesome. Super, super awesome guy. So I took a factory tour. First thing I did that morning is I got to go to Ping's tour department's called Works, WRX. So I parked at that building and went through my PLD putter fitting, which is where they custom design a putter just for your putting stroke, like from scratch. Like when you say custom design, it's not, well, you just pick a putter out and they bend it. It's what milling, what material, what type of, how deep the milling is, what hosel type, what length, what loft, what lie. And what's really cool is it's on a piece of granite. It's actually the most level object in all of Phoenix is their putting green on this piece of granite that has the carpet over the top. And then after that, did my factory tour.
Sounds like it's time for some upgrades, Daryl.
Yeah.
That sounds expensive.
And then, I did that with Colton Tuttle, who was just as big of a putter nerd as I was. So he's their PLD specialist.
I was like peas and carrots.
And
I'd have been like a deer in headlights while y'all two talk.
yeah,
I'd be like, huh?
the coolest part, and I think he really appreciated it, is a lot of people, which we see this every day, come into a fitting with a bias. Mm-hmm. when I went out there and because one thing that they're real big on is communication during the fitting process, meaning he's asking me questions about what I like the look of, feel of, sound of. And that's something that we try to stress a lot here when we fit. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I said, I don't care if you take the GLE ladies putter, make it backwards, left-handed, upside down. If that's what's going to make me the best putter, then let's do that. So as soon as I said that, the light bulb went off. And, we went through about 45 minutes. And once the putter comes in, we'll show it. I'm not going to give away. But just in the milling, how the ball comes off, one thing I learned that I didn't know is...
So you were telling us this is kind of cool, I thought.
If you have a putter with a flat face versus light ample mill versus deep mill versus their deepest milling, there's 6 inches of roll difference between no milling and the deepest milling with the same variable speed.
Right.
Meaning you do nothing different with your stroke. It's the same mile per hour putting stroke, but based off just the milling or the face of the putter, there's a 6-inch difference between the smooth and the deep ample.
Which way would you want to go?
Rollback ball going to affect that?
I guess 3 inches. So, which I thought was really cool because what's cool is the system that they start off the fitting with is their ping, they have a ping putting app, which monitors kind of your putting stroke and gives some parameters and gives you like a golf handicap. And what was cool is we took my gamer and I was like a 2.3 putting handicap with my gamer. And then we took the putter that I thought I wanted and I was like a 7 handicap. And when I finished the fitting, the putter they fit me for, I was a plus 4.4. And it's really cool to see how the tempo, just the difference in 5 grams in weight, like just how customizable that is. So, I mean, the putter fitting was awesome. And then to go through the factory tour, one thing I didn't know about Ping is they make everything pretty much in-house. So the plastic for their golf bags, like the bottom tray, the hot melt ports, they have a plastic molding part of the warehouse. So they truly do everything that they can in America in their own warehouse. And I think that's something that a lot of these manufacturers don't care to do. They're trying to cut costs, cut corners. So that spoke pretty big volume
that's always been something kind of unique to Ping is they try to control as much of the manufacturing process from start to finish as they can.
I mean, think about it. The hot melt port's not even a quarter of an inch big.
Yeah.
And they're taking the time to make all that in-house. And if it's not better, then they spend the time and the research to do it.
Yeah.
That's probably why the Hoofer's been one of the best-selling bags forever.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
And what was really cool is part of the tour, they talk about the history because Karsten didn't start in Phoenix, Arizona. He Redwood City putter, is where kind of the first putters started and then they moved. But when he bought the factory and started buying these buildings around the factory to keep making the campus bigger, is he didn't just buy the building and fire everybody. When he would buy the building, before the purchase actually went through, he went in and met every single person and offered them a job before the building was bought so that they could either come work for him or have enough time to find another job. So, because the campus is huge.
It's huge now.
I mean, it looks like UNCW. So after I got to meet a lot of really cool people in customer service, and so I really got to kind of see every inch of, like, if a consumer calls to set up a repair, or if we call and set up a custom order for a customer, I got to see who answers the phone.
Yeah,
and they have people, not robots. And then to go through their manufacturing, all their like bending machines, curing cells, they all build them. Yeah. So everything Ping does is built by Ping.
Now, this is kind of a little off topic, but doesn't everyone at Ping, or at least almost everyone at Ping, when they get hired, they have to work a certain amount of time in the customer service department?
You have
first,
to work,
right?
Basically with Ping, no matter what position you're hired for, from what I was told, you always start in customer service. Yeah. Because you have to have that appreciation of the customer skills.
Right.
And Ping's really big about hiring within their own company. So when they do these promotions, they hire from inside. They don't outsource it and then bring somebody new in. The 3 people in the works department have all been there over 32 years.
Yeah. I'd say it's very much still like a family-owned, oriented company. So it's cool.
So after the tour, I got to go to the proving grounds. And that's where they fit all the tour players. That's where, like, all the testing with iron by arm, because Ping has an iron by arm robot, and get fit myself, which was probably one thing that I was looking forward to kind of, what can I bring back to what we do here? So I was with Ryan Carr for that, and, It was pretty cool experience because I got to hit the new Blueprint S, the Blueprint T before even.
Some stuff you maybe weren't supposed to.
Yeah. So it was very nice of them to let me do that, the new 10K head. So, but to go through the fitting process, like a tour player, like Miguel Angel Jimenez was there because the the year-end tournament was there.
Charles Schwab.
And when he gets fits, you know how they start Miguel's fitting?
I'm assuming he's probably going to do his little warm-up routine first.
Yeah, so he does his stretches, but they take a measurement of his height and his wrist to floor.
Yeah.
And then they start there. So it's the same process of kind of what we do.
Yeah.
Is we get a static measurement. So even though Miguel's probably played the same specs for 30 plus years, they check it every time.
I'm sure he's gotten a little shorter.
I don't know. The flexibility.
No, that's just the number one thing. Yeah.
We do shrink as we get older.
Yeah.
Gravity is a thing.
It's a, you know.
I'll say you sent us a pretty cool picture. You know, the first thing is like I always try to see like what do they have that we don't have? Look like we have a lot more shafts.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the one thing that is kind of unique to us is we even if it's a shaft they don't offer, we can build it.
Yeah.
And they their new fitting system, which we've already got with the GLEs, is going to help. It's
pretty good,
a lot.
Yeah.
So with your experience out there, how similar is their fitting experience? And then did you take anything away from that experience that we can do better or different here?
Yeah, so they've got a cool tool that I've kind of showed everybody. It's called Copilot. And this could help any fitter that's watching or any golfer in general. Everybody thinks they hit the ball how far with a driver?
300.
Well, what's really cool is you can take the person's height, the wrist to floor, their club head speed, and it will tell you how far you can physically hit it on the best hit possible without seeing you hit a single ball. You know, obviously you have to hit to get the numbers, but
What do they call that?
it's called Copilot.
So it should be the humbler.
So within Copilot, there's these really cool tools like there's spin charts, you know, dynamic lie angle charts. So it tells you kind of like where your lie angle needs to be based off wrist to floor impact. And there's like all these data points that are really educational. So if you're a new fitter, just kind of getting into it, or even all of us who've been doing it for a long time, like there's some pretty cool tricks that they've got in this Copilot feature.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that something that they're sharing to Ping authorized dealers?
Mm-hmm.
Say not all of them, right?
You just have to speak to your rep.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
yeah, I mean, sounds like a cool trip. You had awesome weather for it. You got to see what winter desert weather is like. So,
Yeah.
Weta.
Expensive.
Yeah.
If people think paying $60 around here for a round of golf is expensive,
And Raisin Cajuns is what?
Raising Cane's is over glorified Zaxby's, but the average round of golf out there for public right now in their prime season's $187 at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes.
I think the coolest part of the trip,
But roll the ball back.
yeah, roll the ball back. Aside from you know, getting to meet all the wonderful people, was I got to go inside the Gold Vault
Yeah.
at Ping.
Yeah. See the
So
gold one.
with Ping, when you win a tournament with their putter, they make a gold-plated version. And then when you win a major with it, they make it out of gold.
Yeah, solid gold. Yeah.
And the most expensive putter in there, Suzanne Pedersen, had one with a Dock 17, which is actually the biggest putter Ping's ever made.
Yikes.
It's a football of gold,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And being able to hold like Tiger's
I
putt.
say, did you get Tiger's USAM putter?
Yeah, because Tiger won both his USMs with a Ping putter.
Yeah.
And coincidentally enough, after he won his USMs, a guy named Scotty Cameron made an exact replica of GSS. Ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. And then also Ping does something for disabled people or like amputees. They have this really cool adaptive golf. So it's not something that they're, you know, that I got to see a lot of, but I got to ask the questions. And like they're engineering a lot of stuff for people who have below the elbow amputee, above the elbow, like so that they're still able to play golf. So being able to see like those fitting components that even if you're in a wheelchair or you only have one arm, like they have the capability of building a golf club.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that was a
Might be
pretty cool
something that we might
takeaway.
need for PJ Hope.
Yeah, I mean, Ping has always been on the forefront of kind of innovation, and we talk about grow the game a lot, right? Ping's actually one of the companies that you can actually see they are.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool that you got to go out there and see everything. I mean, we always just talk about it on the phone, right?
Yeah.
When we're talking to customer service. So I'm sure kind of open your eyes a little bit. To,
Well, one thing that was really cool about like walking through there is like even the people that have been there for 30 years, or the guy that I did my tour with has been there a little over a year. Not one person wasn't happy to be in that building, and they all know each other by name. Like I'm pretty sure the guy that I can't remember his name, unfortunately, but he addressed at least 120 people by their first name and knew every single one of them, and had nothing but positive things. So it didn't matter if we were in the repair building, the golf bag building. If we were in works, he knew every single person that worked there.
That's cool.
And he started in customer service.
Yeah.
So it's big appreciation for what they do. And I think, for our customers, that's one reason they come here is, we make them smile. And I think that's
Merry Christmas, Derek.
Merry Christmas.
I think that's the biggest thing with us is when people come in here, we care about the experience.
Yeah.
And going out there, that was their biggest thing is they cared about my experience and what I had. So any client that's ever been out there, I'm pretty sure had the same warmth.
Say a similar experience. Yeah. That's cool.
Well, man, that's awesome. Glad you got to go out there. I mean, question is, are you going to have 2 putters in the bag? Because that lab, I mean,
kind of hard to get away from that.
Like I said,
especially after Thanksgiving.
I haven't told anybody what's on this putter, but it's going to be pretty special.
Nice.
Because I'm not until it comes in, nobody will know.
yeah.
So the lab's out. Is what
Miles,
it
do
sounds
we have a
like.
show and tell? All right, we are working people. We have appointments to get to, so let's get to the show and tell so we can go do our job.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
The winning putter. That's a birdie. That's a home run.
Yeah, so I sent this into Miles. We've talked a little bit about. So Scotty Scheffler won this week with not a Scotty Cameron putter, without a Scotty Cameron putter. So this is Logan Olson's the name of who built this putter for him. It's obviously a 1-of-1 GSS style, right? So something he's similar to using, but no, I just think it's pretty cool. I've never seen a top line on a blade like that. So you could tell Scotty Scheffler, sorry,
requested that.
He figured something about not having something on that top line is making him struggle with the putter.
Yeah.
This is where top line of your putter is so important because it can influence aim. And obviously, number one thing with putting is you want to make sure that your face is aimed at where you want the ball to start at. So, but definitely, I would say it's a birdie because of first tournament with it and you win it.
In style. I mean,
and it's not a big name brand.
I got a question. How old's Scotty Cameron now?
How old is Scotty?
Yeah.
Like his actual age?
Yeah.
Got to be what, late 60s?
He's got to be getting.
I was going to say he's
60s.
not as old as you would think.
He's got to be in his 60s.
Yeah.
All right, so now hear me out. I'm playing. What do we think? Logan Olson, maybe Tyson Lamb, one of these guys is going to be the Scotty Cameron replacement. You think Titleist of it maybe hires one of these guys to continue that brand?
No, because people buy Scotty Camerons and think that they're using the Tour Players putter because that putter right there is an $800 putter.
That putter's not an $800 putter.
Olson? How much was it?
That's probably 4,000.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Well, I meant if that putter would be made to retail, that retail price of that version would probably still start at $800, $900.
It might. It won't be long before we get
not
to
$440, not
$449. I say just a question, food for thought. Maybe when Scotty Cameron decides to retire, do they continue that brand or they
milk the name as much as they can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till that cow's dry.
Hey, Scotty Cameron's still up here. Like they're still the leaders. So
all right. I think it's a flush.
I got to roll a couple of these on the green out there. I actually like the way they feel. They roll really well.
I'm a little biased because I use an Odyssey. I mean, I think the color is a home run.
Yep.
I'm glad they went away from the black and white. Just something different. And for like the color blue, obviously it looks bright in the bottom right photo. It's a like dark navy. Like it's just clean.
I like the sight line on it too.
The AI milled is their new face for this year. Now, unfortunately, for a lot of people don't know this, Odyssey, you won't see any Odyssey Toulons. So the AI milled are kind of the
Toulon
replacements. So they felt great. We've had them flying off our shelf since they came out. So if you want to try them, come on in and roll them. Birdie.
Yeah, birdie. I'd go with birdie. I like the blue and gold colorway. Looks good. Looks premium.
Yep.
Someone got them a laser engraver.
Yeah.
You ain't stamping
No,
that.
you ain't stamping that.
The bump and run.
Those
is
almost
stamped.
look like Corey Paul wedges.
I say the bump and run is stamped, but
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, those are
Something
cool.
different.
I would use those.
I would say par. They're really cool. I don't know if I'd play them, but they're cool.
I like the Pac-Man idea. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I always like seeing people try things that are different.
Actually,
Is that a JP design?
it looks like
I
it.
think it is because
It's
that's
either-
his font and where he stamps the numbers.
Either that or they reground some Vokies or something.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it looks like Corey Paul.
Yeah.
But I'd say I'll give it a flush. I think between the creativity and the execution of it, they did a good job. Bogey to bear.
Nah, it's a bogey for me. Knit hit covers what I mean.
I think it's white noise.
If it ain't a mallard, I don't want it.
It's 1940 called. They want their head cover back.
I got my mallard cover. Quack, quack.
Yeah, that's bogey for me.
Bogey.
Wow.
Honestly, the head cover market's so oversaturated.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with the name on the bear, bogey. I think now I don't want to make no bogeys.
No.
No.
So
You are very superstitious about that.
I am. Now this ought to be up a little more up your alley here.
Kind of has a Jordan feel to it with that way the bottom's done in his shoes, but I mean, it's okay.
It ain't a turtle. It
I was
ain't
gonna say, not
crushed
as
on
good
the
as
top.
It
A
doesn't
surfing
have a
turtle?
hand-painted turtle on the top of it.
Surfing.
It's surfing, yeah. It says crush on it in coral.
I'd be curious on how he's actually taking apart the driver and getting it to stay back together.
This is the Sim 2.
No-
this one was
yeah,
better.
no comment.
It's not
Yeah,
a
it's
stealth.
because-
It's not a stealth.
This guy's done probably 20 or 30 of these heads, and I think he actually has to take them apart to dye the carbon.
Probably so.
So I'm just curious on how he goes. I mean, the stuff he does is awesome. So
Yeah.
I would say this one for me is a birdie because it's unique,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's definitely a hefty investment. So you gotta also
That's the thing is you take a product that you've already paid $500 or $600 for, and you pay another $200-$300 to have it customized. I mean, it's great if you can do it, but is it just for the look? And then by the time that you've played it, you know, now it doesn't look the same, and then does the quality go down, and now you're ready to invest in a new product, and it's just a vicious cycle. But,
Vicious cycle.
voided warranty.
It's like I can't even vote on this just because it's like
I say I'll give it a par. It's
just-
cool, but
it's
I don't
cool.
think like I would. I probably would question.
I would hang it on my wall in a man cave.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Right.
I would question it and
I mean,
play
that's what's
because I
going to
don't know if
happen
it's
now
gonna,
to the two drivers that I've customized, you
Yeah.
know?
if it's been pulled apart. I don't know if it's going to stay together. It's cool, but
Yep.
par.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, if you guys haven't already, please hop on our Instagram. We are doing a pretty big giveaway all of December. If you
12 days of Christmas.
Days of Christmas.
so we're on our third giveaway, which
Yep.
is our Loggerhead beanie.
Yeah,
How do you enter?
You have to go to the post on our Instagram page, Loggerhead Golf, comment and tag 3 friends, right? Tag 3, and then we randomly draw and may the best win for that item. So we've
Nice.
already did the first 2. We gave away a full bag fitting and a putter cover, and then we announce it that afternoon. And it'll be on our Instagram story, the winner.
Yep.
The winner obviously will be tagged.
Yep.
So,
You're welcome.
Yep. You know, that being said, and then I would say if you have any comments, because there's going to be more stuff that come out about the golf ball situation, about new clubs, comment on the video. So next week, next podcast, you know, we'll
So
see
we
what
should
you
have
think.
some
and-
information
yeah.
about the rollback this week, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So,
If we do, we may have to do an emergency pod.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, awesome. Turn on those push bell notifications, click subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.